Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Airlines Quest. The recent Labour Party's victory in the United Kingdom has sent shockwaves through British politics, and the ripples are set to reach the airports and airlines. Buckle up as we explore the impact it could have on the future of flights in the UK. Let's start with a bird's-eye view of the situation. Labour's victory marks a significant change in UK politics, and with it comes a new set of priorities and policies. While aviation might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about a change in government, it's an industry that's deeply affected by political decisions. From environmental regulations to infrastructure projects, the policies set by the government in Westminster have a profound impact on how we fly. Now let's dive into the specifics of what Labour's victory might mean for UK aviation. First up, sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF. This isn't just another industry buzzword, it's a crucial part of aviation's future. SAF is a type of fuel made from sustainable sources that can significantly reduce carbon emissions compared to traditional jet fuel. Labour has made it clear that promoting SAF is high on their agenda. But what does this mean in practice? Well, the outgoing Conservative government had already set some ambitious targets. They introduced a mandate requiring 2% SAF usage by 2025, increasing to 10% by 2030. This aligns with the UK's commitments under the Paris Agreement on climate change. Now, with Labour at the helm, we might see these targets pushed even further. They could introduce additional incentives for fuel suppliers to ramp up SAF production, or perhaps implement stricter penalties for those who don't meet the targets. This could accelerate the transition to greener aviation, potentially making the UK a leader in this field. However, it's worth noting that SAF is currently more expensive than traditional jet fuel. If airlines are required to use more SAF, this could potentially lead to increased ticket prices. On the flip side, government support for SAF production could help bring costs down in the long run. Next, let's talk about something that affects every single flight in UK airspace: airspace modernization. Now, this might sound like a dry, technical topic, but trust me, it has huge implications for anyone who flies. Here's the shocking truth. Many of the air corridors used by planes today were first set up in the 1950s. Yes, you heard that right. We're using 70-year-old sky highways for our modern jets. It's like trying to manage today's road traffic using a street plan from the 1950s. Unsurprisingly, this leads to inefficiencies, delays, and unnecessary fuel burn. The situation is so dire that NATS, the UK's air traffic control service, predicts that by 2030, 1 in 3 flights from the UK will be delayed by over 30 minutes if nothing changes. The average delay could increase from 9 minutes in 2015 to a whopping 26 minutes by the end of this decade. Labour has recognized this problem and included airspace modernization in their manifesto. Their plan involves working with stakeholders across the industry to redesign UK airspace for the 21st century. This could lead to more direct routes, reduced fuel consumption, and fewer delays. But the benefits don't stop there. Modernized airspace could also mean less noise pollution for communities near airports, as modern navigation techniques allow for more precise and varied flight paths. This could spread the noise burden more evenly and reduce the impact on any single area. Now, let's address one of the most contentious issues in UK aviation: Heathrow's third runway. This project has been debated for decades, spanning both Labour and Conservative governments. The pandemic put the brakes on the expansion plans, but with passenger numbers rebounding, the issue is back on the table. Labour's position on this is complicated. Their manifesto was quiet on the issue, but some prominent Labour figures have made statements that seem to support expansion. Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, for instance, has said she's not against expanding airport capacity and wants Heathrow to be a European travel hub. However, it's not that simple. Sadiq Khan, the Labour mayor of London, has been a vocal opponent of Heathrow expansion, citing concerns about noise, air pollution, and strain on transport networks. And Mike Kane, the shadow aviation minister, has suggested that the UK might already have enough runway capacity. So what's the verdict? At this point, it's too early to say. Labour will need to balance economic considerations with environmental concerns and local opposition. This is definitely an issue to watch in the coming months and years. Let's shift gears and talk about something that affects every passenger's wallet: air passenger duty, or APD. This is the tax you pay on flights departing from UK airports. It varies based on the distance of the flight and the class of travel, ranging from a few pounds for a short economy flight to over £200 for a long-haul business class ticket. Labor has hinted at potential changes to APD, particularly for domestic flights and regional airports. Mike Kane has noted that the current APD structure has disproportionately affected regional airports, potentially putting them at a competitive disadvantage. What might this mean for travelers? Well, we probably shouldn't expect major cuts to APD for long-haul or business-class flights. However, there's a possibility of relief for domestic travelers and those flying from regional airports. This could make short-haul and domestic flights more affordable, potentially boosting regional connectivity. But there's a catch. Any cuts to APD would need to be balanced against environmental concerns and the government's need for revenue. It's a delicate balancing act that labor will need to navigate carefully. So, what does all this mean for the future of UK aviation? Well, if Labour follows through on their promises and hints, we could see some significant changes. Firstly, a greener aviation sector with more widespread use of sustainable fuels. Secondly, more efficient air routes, potentially leading to fewer delays and reduced emissions. Thirdly, possible changes to flight prices, especially for domestic and regional flights. Lastly, continued uncertainty around major infrastructure projects like Heathrow's third runway. But it's important to remember that these changes won't happen overnight. Implementing new policies takes time, especially in an industry as complex as aviation. And of course, Labour will face challenges and opposition along the way. What's clear is that the UK aviation industry is entering a period of potential transformation. Whether you're an aviation enthusiast, a frequent flyer, or just someone who takes the occasional holiday, these changes could affect your future travel experiences. As we come in for landing on this topic, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about these potential changes? Are you excited about the prospect of greener aviation or concerned about possible price increases? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.